All right. So, hustle culture. What exactly is it? Is it something that we should be aware of? Is it something that we should know about? Or is it just a trendy word that someone else would like to complain about? And how do side hustles relate to it? So, that's what we're going to get into today. We're going to talk about hustle culture. Is it harmful or is it helpful? Let's find out.
Hi
Hi, guys.
guys.
I love that. All right. So, hello, everyone. Welcome back, scholars. Maybe that's what I should say. I've thought about saying hi, y'all, because, I am a Georgian. So, maybe I should just say hi, y'all. Welcome back, scholars. So, yeah, today I think I've already given away that sneak peek. But as you saw in the beginning, we actually have a T cam today. Well, I think it should be called a mug cam. Um, but because today it does not have tea, I learned my lesson last time. I need a cool drink, so I have some water today. I just have some cool water today in my mug. All right, so yes, as you have heard, we are going to be talking about hustle culture, and this came from hello. So this came from uh, a few weeks ago on my Instagram stories and on the YouTube community. This was actually one of the options if I should actually make a video about like kind of a commentary style video on hustle culture and really what it is and how does it relate to side hustles, or do side hustles contribute to hustle culture, sort of that thing. Some of you said I should talk about it, but the majority ruled otherwise. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. It's a little bit let's see. It's a little bit not off topic, but not as the things we normally talk about. You know, we normally talk about how to make money and, the best way we can do that. But in order to make money, you have to also take care of your health. And that's a little bit what we're going to get into today about hustle culture. So, again, feel free to comment anything. I will try my best to go back and forth between the material that I have pulled up for us today to look over and share your thoughts, because these are not just my thoughts. I don't want to just hear my thoughts. I hear them all the time. So share your thoughts in the comments. And I will also be responding to comments that you have left on other videos of mine after we talk about all this today. Okay, so hopefully this will lead me into what I actually would like to talk about in a future video. So let's see where things go here. So first off, what exactly is hustle culture? All right. Hustle culture, I'm going to share my screen to share with you. Oh, wait, let me move the T cam. The T cam is only needed every now and then. Okay. So first off, hustle culture is something that I heard more about last year and how it relates to the new generation teenagers. And um yeah, it's but let me show you what Google says. What does Google say or define hustle culture to be? All right, so let me see if I'm doing this right. Let's go and let's see. Let's take our field trip. It says it is a lifestyle where career has become such a priority in your life or the environment that you work in that other aspects of being human, such as hobbies, family time, and self care, often take a back seat. So, am I showing? I have the T cam. Okay, I'm sorry. Let me do this. There we go. All right. So basically is where you have such kind of like an addiction to work, or where hustling is more important, being on the grind, or um, making the money or getting the bag is more important than actually taking time to rest and enjoy the life around you. And it was really interesting. I really wanted to dig more into it, especially since it had the word hustle in it, and that's what we try to do our best with hustling, but that's not enjoyable at all, hustling or working, if you don't get the appropriate amount of rest. So I think this is something that I actually try to avoid hustle culture, and people talk about it being toxic or not good for you by saying it fosters ongoing toxicity, and that if you spend too much time on anything non-work related, you feel guilty. In order to keep a balanced work life schedule, work cannot overrule your downtime and home life. So again, of course, there needs to be some separation, which I completely agree with. Like, I feel like that's something that we should all do and all keep in mind, even though um, this is our livelihood. You know, when you are working, when you are getting side hustles, when you are supplementing your income, that is how you are making your living and are able to sustain your way of life. But at the same time, what are you sustaining if you're not enjoying your life? So that's always been my philosophy, and always been my beliefs to do anyway. So, but how does this new generation relate to hustle culture and it being harmful? So let's take another field trip. There's another article that I saw. Bear with me, you guys. I'm trying to like share the screen multiple times. And it's entitled Gen Z's Obsession with Hustle Culture is Unhealthy. So I'm not trying to talk about the new generation or whatever, but just the articles behind it. I'm sorry, I thought I muted my phone. So the beginning, it says, I'm a Gen Zer who graduated during the pandemic. Here's why I think my generation's obsession with hustle culture has become unhealthy. Um, So she starts off by saying the old adage that everybody wants to be their own boss is one that I strongly reject. While I'd love to say I aspire to climb the corporate ladder, I realized early on that my childhood dream jobs, like being a doctor or ballerina, were more about working on a team rather than being considered the boss of anything. I've always preferred avoiding being my own ringleader, but despite my best efforts, I've fallen out the same entrepreneurial ploy as many of my Gen Z peers, the side hustle. And I think my what I'm taking away from this, as far as everybody wants to be their own boss, is less, being a boss and more having the control of your schedule. Because if you've ever worked a 9 to 5, you don't have that same control that you would do if you were your own boss. So it goes on to say how she began to have a side hustle because of after graduation or graduating during the pandemic. Um, a salary with benefits became increasingly out of reach. So her side hustle became her primary income. And she wasn't alone. Many have done that during this um, pandemic that we're in. So she saw many of her peers starting businesses. So have I. Many peers of mine have started their own businesses. And even though the rush is on full display now, it's been a staple in my generation's financial philosophy for years. Months before the pandemic, um, Gen Zers wanted to pursue a side hustle, and over half didn't plan to rely on a traditional job for income. And I would say that is the same for me. I've never really wanted a 9 to 5, but I feel like it's for different reasons. In fact, I know it's for different reasons. But so she goes on talking about how side hustles, along with full time work, are kind of, when you put them together, basically the generation is obsessing over money, and they're not able to enjoy any of the benefits that come from working or come from getting their payment. So I just thought it was interesting. And there was another article that I saw, and it was entitled Side Hustle Culture is Toxic. Um, but what is it? It said something, side hustle culture is toxic. And so it went on to talk about that. But I think the main takeaway is not to stop your side hustles, but more so to just have them in its proper place. And the reason that I think they were saying that it has become this culture is because of in schools it's taught like if you don't work or if you don't work harder than anyone else, then you are, um, you know, you're a failure or you're not a success. And of course, you want to be a hard worker, but at the same time, you don't want to overwork yourself where you cannot work at all or enjoy your life at all. And yeah, that's kind of what I wanted to share. And I kind of wanted to lead this into that culture, that hustle culture has kind of given birth to so many people trying to create passive incomes or side hustles, and they're really burning out in that process. But it is interesting to see the different ideas, the different creative ideas that different ones come up, especially if you go to TikTok, you see multiple like creative ways to make money. And while some of them are legit, some of them are falsely advertised. So that's basically what I wanted this to turn into because I'm not about to turn on TikTok, so don't worry about that. But if you have been on there and you've been on there to look at side hustles or you've seen that in passing, you'll see some that come up and say like, "Oh, you can earn um what is it? Like $100 in 10 minutes, or you can earn $450 in an hour for just reading English." And it in some cases those are correct, but they give off false hopes. So that's what I want to do. Like maybe start a series or something where I can debunk those myths, possibly. Who knows? Maybe I've already interviewed a few, um, you know, what's those people called? A few TikTokers. Who knows? Who knows? And so yeah, that's what I wanted to talk about today. Those are my thoughts that I've had. Um, and if you would like to help me with some of these thoughts, then you can just comment. Like you can comment on one of the videos if you don't want to email me directly and say, here's a thought for Thursdays or here's a teacher Daisha thought. Like I like these to be more not necessarily unprepared, but most of the times lately they have been a bit more unprepared than the videos that I try to edit and put a lot of time in because this is weekly content. And of course, everything that I'm doing on the channel is just a hobby for me, a side hustle for me. So I don't have a lot of time to research the um, ideas or the topics for the lives on Thursdays as much as I do for the videos. So if you want to share them with me, you can just simply email me at teacherdesha@gmail.com, or you can just comment on one of the videos and say, hey, here's a thought. So speaking of comments, let's get to your comments, which I already have pulled up. So let me remove the T cam or the mud cam. Maybe it should, I don't know. So let's see your comments. And while I'm pulling these comments up, please, scholars, spread the word that I am sharing. I want to answer all comments. Like, I really do appreciate reading all of the positivity and everything in the comments. But some scholars, like when they comment, they want me to respond right away. And this is not my job as of now. So I can't respond right away, okay? Even if you've commented on maybe let's just say a video that I did post on that same day, um, just because I posted that video doesn't mean I'm able to respond to comments. So I have this day set aside for responding to comments. So if you would just bear with me, then you will get your comments responded to, okay? So let's check out what the scholars have to say or what the scholars have been saying on the videos. So while it's loading, just a sneak peek into what I have in store for you guys. I plan to release a video about live ops next week. We'll see how the editing goes, but yeah, I plan to release it next week, and it's jam packed with information. It might be one of the longest videos that I've done in a while, um, because it's so much things. It's going to be talking about the things I wish I knew before starting live ops. In case any of you referrals have any questions, so if you have any questions now and you're watching this, feel free to comment it, and I will try to include it in the video. And I also plan to be releasing a video soon talking about um, voiceover work, or I don't know if it would be called voiceover work or audiobook narration, one of the two, but I've talked with a fellow YouTuber who does that, and I have the interview. I just want to research a bit more about it before I share it with you guys officially. All right, so stay tuned for that. But in the meantime, let's get to these comments. So this is from Glimmers of Grace. It says, "Hi, Teacher Daisha. Are you currently getting a good amount of bookings? I'm really considering applying, but I need a reliable income to pay bills. Do you have an estimate of how many bookings you can actually get a week right now? I'm a former 5-star VIP kid teacher of many years." I cannot talk today. So I think Grace is talking about just Cambly Kids. And if so, then yeah, Cambly Kids have some pretty good consistent bookings. So yeah. I get a good amount of bookings ever since I've been a Cambly Kids tutor. My schedule has been filled with Cambly Kids bookings. Um, I wouldn't rely on Cambly as your only source of income though. So yeah. Do you have an estimate of how many bookings you can actually get a week right now? Honestly, no. The only thing I can say about that is my schedule is always booked, but I only work about four, 4.5 hours. Um, yeah, I only work about 4.5 hours a week, and always booked. So I don't know how you can take that, because just because I'm booked on those days doesn't mean that I'll always get booked throughout the rest of the week. So yeah, I hope that answers your question. And of course, I'll try to answer it in a more polished way into her comments when I respond later. So this is also to Linda. "Hello, I am an English teacher living in Portugal, and I'm looking at teaching English online. I have a TESOL and TEFL but no degree. I currently have 2 years experience teaching. I currently have 2 years experience teaching lesson present presently and online to children from 1 year of age to 18 years. Your videos have been so insightful, and I was wondering, what webcam do you use to teach? Because that is the only equipment I am missing, as I usually use my laptop, built-in camera. I am hoping to apply to Cambly next month." Okay, well, Linda, I also use my um, laptop built-in camera. So if that's the only thing that's stopping you, I would say go ahead and just go for it and apply. There has been another, like, friends of mine have recommended webcams for me. I just have never seen the need to invest in one. But because this one seems to be pretty decent, in fact the webcam is the one I'm using. That's the camera I'm using right now for the live. So I'll try to see if I can talk with them or find out which webcam that was that they recommended to me previously. I think it was a Logitech though. But yeah, for anyone else who's watching that has a similar question. So Constance says, "Hey dear, I have been watching your videos for some time now, and I must say they have helped me a lot. Now I'm ready to apply for Cambly, but I love teaching kids. Any tips for intro and demo?" So first off, I want to go back to Linda and say thank you for saying my videos have been insightful. That means a lot. And also thank you, Constance, for letting me know that my videos have helped. So Constance says, "I love teaching kids. Any tips for intro and demo?" So again, I did not have to do a demo video or a demo lesson for Cambly Kids. I think I just kind of got in the beginning And I think my initial intro video, I think they saw maybe the kids' backgrounds that I had on the wall, and I think that helped me get in. But I did not have to do a demo lesson. As far as the intro video, I have a complete video. Like I have a complete do I have a video about Cambly Kids intro videos? I think I just have one for regular Cambly intro, but I'll make sure I link that for you. Constance. Again, Constance says, "Hi, how do I contact you privately? I need some guidance." So for that, you can send me an email or reach out to me on Instagram, which is on the screen currently. Wade says, "I want to be called a genius." So welcome back, geniuses. That's yeah, okay. That's in reference to the scholars. Samuel says, "Nice. Do not waste another day." Um, that was on my video when I talked about Fiverr and Upworks. That one did not get a lot of attention, but yeah, I wanted to share that with anyone else who is thinking of joining those platforms. Natasha says, "Do you have any tips for those of us who have never taught before?" I would say if you're going to be working with Cambly, I would not be worried that much, because if you're a people person, I don't think you'll have much of a problem. And even if you're not, as long as you just stick with the lessons, like I've just had my first adult student in a while, and they came with a lesson already there, and all I had to do was read straight from the lesson, and that's all I needed to do. So I wouldn't worry too much. And if that's the only thing that's holding you back, again, I would still apply. And you will, of course, be nervous on your first call, but as you have more calls and more lessons, it will become second nature. So I wouldn't worry too much. Um, I'll see if I can find more tips when I respond officially. Pearl says, "I'm still waiting to do the live demo video. I passed through the other stages." So this is talking about Native Camp. So for those of you, again, if you're working with Native Camp, the time that worked for me to do the live demo, it was like 11 a.m. on a Wednesday, I think, when I did the demo. So yeah, because that was something that was holding me back too, because every time I would go, there would be no one online for me to do the demo. So some teachers said they've been able to get away without doing the demo, but I had to wait. Okay, so Gail says portrait is vertical and landscape is horizontal. That is true. Did I say otherwise? Maybe I did not say that correctly in that video. I have to go back and look. And if so, that'll be pretty embarrassing, since that's one of my most viewed videos. And Gail also loves BTS and my paintings. Thank you, Gail. So hello, what's up? Can you please respond to my comment in your latest video? And I did, because I responded to that comment already. Cancellations and no shows from students. So this is a con of Cambly. No money for teachers waiting in the past. Students needs to be put on notice for these types of inconsistencies, just like teachers. Until then, teachers will utilize the blocking feature for students who refuse to respect teachers' time. However, within 30 days of me writing this, the teachers have just received a recent email stating that they could wait for their students for 10 minutes, log off, and still get paid. Check your PayPal account for that. The proof will be in the bank. Another thing is, it is only $10 per hour, only if you have a student. However, it is $5 and some change, I believe, per student per 30 minutes, unless if the student wants a lesson for 15 minutes. This needs to change immediately. Yeah, the Cambly pay, in the past, I've said I wish it was higher. And if it was, then all of my videos would be about Cambly. But it's not. So, and I think if it was higher, then it would not be as open of a platform and as flexible as it is. So I have kind of given up on hoping that the pay would change, but who knows? So yeah. And Lauren says, I think this is our last comment for today. Lauren says, "Hi, Teacher Daisha. I've been watching your videos and they're amazing help. Thank you so much." Thank you, Lauren. So I applied 2 weeks ago and just followed up with my application. I received an email to say I was rejected. I just used your referral link to reapply. Would you please be able to help me? I was really keen on working with Cambly. Thanks, Lauren. So, Lauren, I will try to reach out to you and see what I can do. But again, for anyone that watches my videos and uses me as a referral, I will try my best, especially if it's an application that has been rejected. I make sure you watch my video about what to do if your application has been rejected. But again, since I don't work at Cambly, I can only go so far. So I'll help you as much as I can, but I can't promise that will do much. Okay? So just be aware of that, everyone. All right, so those are the comments. I will respond to them officially later today. And I think that is about it. Um, Stay tuned for next week when I figure out what we'll talk about then or what thoughts that I'll have then. And what else? Yeah, stay tuned for the video on live ops. Hopefully it'll be next week, but whenever it is released, it will definitely be value packed. So if you're interested in live ops, stay tuned for that. So yeah, thank you for tuning in to hear my 2 cents. Make sure you enter the giveaway. You still have time left. You still have some days left. So make sure you enter the giveaway. And also, if you have any thoughts on something fun that I can do, I want to do something a bit more fun and relaxed when we have our live announcing the winner, since it will be a year since I've been on this platform and everything. So, yeah, keep that in mind and send me a thought if you have one. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll see you next time.